Hey guys, what is up? Derek here from Bomb Socks with another day of Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ, one bite at a time. So we're going to finish up this week of Come Follow Me with one of my favorite stories in this particular blog. It's one of my favorites in the Old Testament. I know I say that a lot, but this is a pretty cool one. It's in 2 Kings chapter 6, where you've got some crazy context. There is a war going on between the Syrians and the Israelites. They are not playing nicely with one another. So you got in verse number 8 where it says, "Then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such and such a place shall be my camp." Meaning, we're going to go camp here and we're going to take out these Israelites. Verse 9, "And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down." He's like, that place where they're going, you're going to want to stay away from that place because the Syrians are going to be coming after you. Well, in this interchange, you have got Elisha the prophet. Once again, this wonderful man that we've been talking about this week. So in verse number 15, it says, "When the servant of the man of God," so Elisha's servant, "was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do?" He's like, what are we going to do? We are surrounded by all of these Syrian armies. Verse 16 has got one of the coolest statements in the Old Testament. "And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw and beheld the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha." There's actually some crazy pictures about this right here. And the way it does, it shows these angels up there that are just jacked, that are just ready to just come down and take out all these Syrian armies. But he's like, open his eyes a little bit so he can see. And all of a sudden you see all of the individuals that are there on the other side of the veil helping you out. Many of you are familiar with the quote from Jeffrey R. Holland where he says, when you're in the gospel of Jesus Christ, you have help from both sides of the veil. And he says, if we could open our eyes, we would see horses and chariots of fire as far as the eye can see, riding at reckless speed to come to our protection. So that's what he's referring to with this story right here. One of the cross references that I have put with this is Doctrine and Covenants section 98, verse number 2, which is one of my all-time favorite verses, where it talks about waiting patiently on the Lord. Your prayers have entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which Sabaoth is a Hebrew term for Lord of hosts or Lord of the armies of Israel, and are recorded with this seal and testament. The Lord hath sworn and decreed that they shall be granted. So again, whenever I think about that, I think of just these chariots of fire up there, and there's angels up there with swords, and they are ready to just take out whoever is going to come after you. And I love that idea. I also love more of a gentle and simple version of this. So years ago, I was teaching seminary, and our theme, we were teaching the Old Testament that year, and our theme was this verse, this idea of they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And so we called upon a student at the seminary that I was at that was a great artist. She was the Art Sterling Scholar for that year, and she was just phenomenal. And we just said, hey, can you draw something that might kind of represent this for us so it means something to the youth today, this idea of they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And so she started drawing, and she came up with this picture right here. Now, if you're listening on our podcast here, you might have to go over to YouTube or to Facebook or Instagram and to be able to see this picture right here, because I love this picture. As you see these two youth right here, all of a sudden surrounded by angels. Now, these angels aren't these beefy, angels that are going to just come out and take people. You look very carefully. These are family members. These are individuals. These are grandparents. These are people on the other side of the veil, which I really believe when we have help from the other side of the veil, I don't think it's angels necessarily coming. I don't want to discount what Elder Holland said, but I don't know if they're just these angels with swords just coming. I think they are family members who are able to help us when they are called upon to be able to do those things. And so she drew this picture, and it was cool for the seminary, and she happened to be in my class. And at the end of the year, she's like, do you want this picture? And I said, absolutely, I do. So I have taken this picture with me throughout my career, and it's in my classroom somewhere, where it is a nice, gentle reminder that they that be with us are more than they that be with them. I love what it says in the Come Follow Me for this week. It says, have you ever felt outnumbered and fearful, wondering as Elisha's young servant did, how shall we do? How are we going to do this? What inspires you about Elisha's answer? How does this account change the way you think and feel about your trials, your responsibilities, or your efforts to live the gospel? As you ponder, consider President Henry B. Eyring's words. Like that servant of Elisha, there are more with you than those you can see opposed to you. Some who are with you will be invisible to your mortal eyes. The Lord will bear you up and will at times do it by calling others to stand with you. And I really do believe that. I remember I went to the temple one time and I was in a sealing session, and you walked into there as this couple was going to be sealed, and there was only a few with us or so. And the sealer walked in. He just kind of looked for a minute. And he goes, man, there are a lot of people here. It's so good to see so many family members. Well, let's get started. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you can't just do that. But I love this perspective of this man. He's like, there are so many people that are in support of you. Oftentimes we don't see them all, as you got other side of the veil helping you out. But I love this principle and I love this verse. It's just a nice reminder in a day where you feel like there might not be a lot of people with you. Remember, they that are with you are more than they that are with them. And I love that principle, and I know it's true. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks so much for liking and sharing. We appreciate that you do that. Please, if you haven't already, check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at BOM-BITES.com. You will love them. Have an amazing day. Godspeed, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.